Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. Got a new sponsor. I am still very much involved in the law firm, and I am doing so with my new entity that I'm creating, Deters Legal Consulting. More to come on this, but the bottom line is, if it involves law, you can contact me, A to Z. I'll be setting up a website, lots of exciting things. Also, Parks Yoga. In addition to that, check us out on all of our platforms. Well, our lead story is Trump versus Bragg. They sent the grand jury home, told them not to worry about coming in on Wednesday. I don't know if they actually came in or not. Going to maybe reconvene today. The leaks coming out of the United States District Attorney's Office in New York is that they're having a hard time convincing him to do the indictment. What? Truly amazing. But I would like to share a few more things that have come out. First off, isn't it amazing that this guy, Bragg, doesn't want to go after criminals, doesn't want to have bail, gets elected on George Soros's money, and he wants to go after Trump for this? I mean, what a phony. You know what this is? He is a Marxist, militant, let's get even, fair prosecution, my butt. All right. There is a letter that came out where Michael Cohen claimed Donald Trump did not reimburse him. I mean, Cohen is a lying. But the reports are he is struggling to convince the grand jury to charge Trump. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? We'll see what happens. I'm excited. We're doing what Trump says, protest. Our little prayer and rally at Boondocks made the front page of the Inquirer today. Can't believe it. All right, now I want to talk about Trump and DeSantis. DeSantis is clearly running for president, which in my opinion is the most disloyal thing ever. Trump got him elected governor. But here are some things just to tell you about who's behind Ron DeSantis. If you like Trump, just imagine this. Who likes DeSantis? Jeb Bush, the National Review folks. All the people that don't like Trump, they're making DeSantis his guy. So what does DeSantis have to do? He has to appease him. Days after saying that we got to get out of the Ukraine war, he comes out as Mr. Warhawk against Putin. Boy, you really got a foundation in your principles, don't you, Ron? And Trump hit him hard. Trump hit him hard on his position on Social Security. Trump hit him hard on his position on Medicare. Trump hit him hard on Florida's natural environment. And I didn't realize this. Florida's education. I mean, Trump went through the laundry list of the rankings of Florida. Crime, everything else. Florida is not all that great, folks. I mean, it's not. Pretty interesting. Trump will peel the bark off Ron DeSantis. I'm Team Trump all the way. I'm Team Trump all the way. Here's something that really cracks me up, too. See, DeSantis, doing a good job as governor. Ego takes over. Bridge too far. He's going to go a bridge too far. DeSantis says Trump should have given up power like George Washington after election loss on January 6th. You know what? What happened on January 6th has absolutely nothing to do at all with George Washington. This last election is not the same as what went down with George Washington. Hey, Ron, you don't know your American history. George Washington was elected unanimously by Congress. It's truly amazing. Nobody ran against him, Ron. Nobody ran against him. Now, it is true, George Washington gave up power. That is not what went down relative to January 6th. Trump was fighting for our principles. Ron, I'm going to call him Ron Sanctimonious. What's wrong with that nickname? Ron Sanctimonious. Team Trump all the way. Fed rate hike. Half a point. It's going to hurt us again. Folks, I'm telling you, I'm not an economist, but I've taken economics. I'm the only person in this country. I'm blown away by this. I'm the only person in the country that says that these unique circumstances of supply chains, which caused all the inflation problems, that the interest rate, where the traditional raise interest rates to stop inflation, is meaningless. So we're getting double whammied. The interest rates keep going up, doesn't help us in inflation because of supply chain issues. I'm the only person in the country that's pointing this out. Mitch McConnell is apparently in rehab and he's not going to be out for a while. Yada, 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 yada. By the way, those people say, you should be polite and kind. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. If you think for a minute it would bother me at all that all of those people involved on the other side of the Durrani litigation who have been evil, like Judge Schweikert, that bad things happen to them, that would make me feel, no, it wouldn't. I'm not going to be a phony like that. I'm not going to be a phony like that. Mitch McConnell has caused more pain upon this country, more pain upon Kentuckians. Ooh, he's got a concussion and some ribs. We're supposed to go, oh, feel sorry for you. No, I don't feel sorry for him at all. And then we got questioning one of the finest prosecutors up for, I don't know if he's up for a judge or prosecutor, whatever. It was Kennedy from Louisiana nailed him. The guy didn't know what a Brady motion was. 4 years, I think he was actually a judge for 4 years. Didn't know what a Brady motion is. A motion where you ask the prosecution has to turn over any exculpatory or good evidence for you to the defendant. The guy didn't know what a Brady motion was. What? Unbelievable. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Coming up next, Bulldog TV and local news. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to Bulldog TV Local News. We're sponsored by Deters Legal Consulting. In addition to that, Parks Yoga, and check us out on all of our platforms. Well, our lead story is going to be another one of these little education seminars that are relevant to our region when there's not really a big top story. And today, yesterday I covered the indictment. Today I'm going to cover certificate of need. Kentucky has this archaic system of that before a hospital or a doctor, you provide more medical services to a region. You have to apply through the Department of Human Health and Resources of the state of Kentucky for what's called a certificate of need. What you have to prove is you have to prove the need for your services. All your competitors get to fight you on it. The concept and the idea is to not have an overabundance of healthcare needs, which would so-called hurt the delivery of healthcare services. Well, guess what? It's a joke. All it does is keep out competition, keeping prices up. That's what happens when you don't have competition. And quality of care down. That's what it does. This is particularly harming in northern Kentucky for the following reasons. We have Cincinnati area hospitals where you have Cincinnati Children's, Christ with their cardiac units, University with their trauma units, and it's a teaching hospital, so cutting edge care across the board. Good Sam and their NICU unit. You have all this. But St. Elizabeth Medical Center maintains a monopoly here in northern Kentucky, and what do they do with it? They do billing fraud. They send they send people to dialysis that don't need it. They're like this evil empire. They mandate just like the Cincinnati hospitals did. They mandated vaccinations, masks, had to apply for religious and medical exemptions. It's awful. Representative Marianne Proctor has a bill which she's proposing that would eliminate this for Boone, Kenton, and Campbell counties. I support that wholeheartedly. Guess who's opposing it? St. Elizabeth Medical Center. You have to be completely tied to the evil empire not to understand that healthcare competition would be good in this country, or in this region. By the way, nurses, they would be able to make more money. Competition in the same neighborhood. Doctors, same thing. Bill Cunningham used to always tell me that he wished iHeartRadio, Clear Channel at the time, did not own 55 KRC and 700 WLW because then they could negotiate higher wages. Clear Channel, iHeart, owns all the talk radio stations in Cincinnati. So guess what? They dictate what they're going to pay you. You don't have no place else to go. You see how it works? So I just want, and by the way, this is an issue that I brought out first. I don't know if Marianne Proctor got the idea for me, but I'm the one that advocated this for over a year. I've been advocating it for a long time, but as a governor candidate, I would support this. And I support this across the state of Kentucky. So if you're a voter in Kentucky, think about that. I am the only candidate running for governor who wants to increase health care competition, bring wages up, and bills down. It's truth. All right, on to long crime. Caitlin Markham's fiance, John Carter, has been charged with her murder in 2011. Markham went missing from Fairfield in 2011, and her body was found 2 years later in Indiana. Prosecution has not revealed the evidence that implements Carter as the murderer. I'm sure he told somebody, thought he was safe. Sad. Look at that. Beautiful woman. Murdered. Adams County rapper Afro Man is being sued by some deputies who were part of a raid on his house. The deputies entered the house and were captured on the surveillance cameras while they moved through the house. The rapper then used the images of the deputies for commercial purposes like T-shirts without their consent. Wow, that's an interesting twist. Highland Heights City Council voted Tuesday to charge council member Edward Fessler with misconduct. Fessler was arrested in February for drug possession and trafficking. Fessler has not resigned, must need the money, but the council has now taken steps to lead to his removal. In local news, Cincinnati public schools have suffered major issues this year with buses and transportation. Students are continuously late to school and have some experienced 2-hour bus rides. The district is considering splitting school districts into 2 different start times to curb transportation demand. A Boone County site planned for a supermarket has people believing Publix. I always want to say Publix. I said Publix. Publix may be coming to northern Kentucky. The site on Richwood Road lists an engineering firm that has built stores for the Florida-based company. If Publix moves in, they'll go head-to-head with Kroger, who's maintained a 50% market share for decades. In Kentucky state news, Kentucky has adopted a new bill aimed at addressing Kentucky's healthcare workforce shortage. The new bill will create a fund that will be administered to select the healthcare workers. Most of the money will go to support scholarships. They created the nightmare. Political Munchausen. A Kentucky state auditor has released findings that bring Kentucky State University's finances into question. Potential infractions include undocumented credit transactions and $9,000 spent on a day-long retreat at a Kentucky castle. Interim President Dr. Ron Johnson says changes are already in the works. By the way, Kentucky State University has lost money forever. It is a black university in Frankfort. With all due respect, I do not understand why we can't incorporate this in. By the way, I don't have all the facts. This is just my preliminary thought process as your governor, is I don't understand why it must be politics. We can't get rid of the one black university. Well, guess what? This isn't the 1960s anymore. We have integration. We're all one human race. And I don't understand why we just can't incorporate what Kentucky State does into the University of Kentucky. Makes no sense to me. Lexington's right down the road. Make it a satellite University of Kentucky college. Ohio State news. The U.S. Senate Committee of Transportation met Wednesday to discuss ways to improve safety in the U.S. rail system. The main focus is on derailments. See, they never have any vision beforehand. It's just all reactionary crap. And in sports, the UK baseball team has the longest winning streak of all Division I baseball with 15 games in a row. They're 19-2 to start the season. Yeehaw. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jerry and Bulldog Nation, coming up next, Ben Spindley in his World News.
Hello, Bulldog Nation. Deters for governor. Today's latest headlines. 25 people have been injured after a ship tipped over at an Edinburgh dockyard in Scotland. The ambulance service said 15 people had been taken to the hospital and 10 were treated on site. The 3,000-ton vessel became lodged at a 45-degree angle at the dock. A bill has passed in Uganda, Africa. People who identify as gay risk life in prison after Parliament passed the new bill. Federal police in Brazil have arrested 9 suspected members of a criminal group after raids across the country to foil an alleged murder and kidnapping plot. Several politicians and public figures were amongst the target plans. Young people in 3 European countries are sharply critical of the world's 2 most powerful countries, a study has found. They are concerned about the US's role, the world's policemen, and China's growing economic might. The findings are based on focus groups with young adults aged 18 to 29 in the UK, France, and Germany. And in sports, England start Euro 2024 qualifying campaign against Italy in Naples this evening, and Annie Murray loses in the first round of the Miami Open. Until tomorrow, have a fantastic day. Take care.